Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Today we're wondering, what if an SG was made by Gretsch instead of Gibson? So this is the Gibson SG Standard that I've had for a while now, and that I jokingly refer to as the Eric Jason Brock Signature SG due to all the modifications that I made to it. And the most recent modification that I made was I added a Bigsby to it. This started out as a 2020 Gibson SG Standard, nothing out of the ordinary. Really, the only thing that set it apart from all the other SGs that I had owned or had played up to that point was it was really lightweight, and it really seemed to have a really resonant body. I should say lighter weight than most SG. SGs usually kind of tend towards lighter weight anyway, but this one came in at a hair under 6 pounds, before I added the Bigsby. And it seems like a really, really resonant piece of mahogany. It's a one-piece body, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but it was really, really resonant. A friend of mine that works in a guitar shop suggested I take a look at this one. Wasn't really, looking for an SG or in the market for an SG, but I was in there one day, and he pulled this one down off the wall and said, "Check this one out. There's something about this one," and he was right, obviously, because I took it home that day. So at the time when I got this guitar, I didn't really need another double humbucker guitar, and I've never been a huge fan of the 490 and 498 humbuckers that came in this guitar stock. So pretty soon after getting it, I decided to put something else in it, and I ended up going with these Seymour Duncan Cyclones, which are kind of like their version of a Filtertron. And then I also took out the PCB, electronics that come in these, and replaced it with a Mojo Tone harness. And I'm really, really happy with the electronics in this guitar now. Taking a closer look at the electronics, like I said, the Seymour Duncan Cyclones in the, where the humbuckers used to be, it's got a 3-way switch, 2 volume, 2 tone like normal. I did go ahead and put these kind of like amp looking knobs on it. I thought they looked cool on it. And I added a mini switch to the harness that, doesn't normally come with it, but I added that. And what that does is it allows me to coil split the Cyclones. So, very, very useful electronics in my opinion. So after playing a guitar, that way for a couple years, I decided I wanted to do something else to it. So I decided to go ahead and put a Bigsby on it. So I got a hold of this Bigsby B5, and then I got with Vibramate and got one of their V5 short tail kits to go on this. And if you've got the SG with the full guard, you have to get the short tail kit. Or else, because normally both sides would look like this, and obviously there wouldn't be room for it. So if you've got one of these kind of SGs and you want to do this, just make sure you get the V5 short tail kit. But Vibramate, really makes it easy to put a Bigsby on a guitar without needing to do any kind of modifications to the guitar. So later on down the road, if you wanted to take it off, you could take it off and put the normal tailpiece back on, and nobody would ever know. Sure, Bigsby's aren't the most state-of-the-art vibrato tremolo system on the market, but I definitely think they can really look cool on a lot of guitars, and I definitely think it looks cool on the SG. I'm very happy with the looks of this guitar now. Now, if you're worried about weight, it's not quite as heavy as you might think. The B5 itself weighs about 10 ounces, and the Vibramate, kit with all the hardware and everything weighs 2 ounces. So it's basically 12 ounces, so, less than a pound that you're adding. So, if you have an SG that has, really bad neck dive, you may think one of these might help, and it might. I mean, it's not going to hurt, right? But it's not as heavy as you might think it is. Luckily, this SG did not have any neck dive at all, even as light as it was. But even now, this guitar is under 7 pounds, and there's no neck dive, obviously. But it didn't, one thing I was worried about was adding a lot of extra weight on there. And it, like I said, it is 12 ounces, so you notice it. But it's not as heavy as I thought it was going to be. And, my guitar is still, like I said, under 7 pounds. So it's, nice lightweight SG. So we'll do some tone samples for you. Of course, we're going to do the same riff that we always do. So like I said in the original quick look video that I made on this SG, this is an SG that I love, and I'm, plan on keeping forever, and I'm really, really happy with it. I do have that 61 SG there, for when I want the true SG experience. But like I said, I really, really like this guitar. I'll put some links for the Vibramate kit and everything in case you're interested down below. I want to thank you guys for checking this out with me today. We'll see you next time.